And that's one thing I always admired, actually. And this is something I have to say, is because it's very, since I've been running my recording facility for the past 10 years, and it's very rare that I have musicians come in, especially guitar players, saying that, okay, I've made my tone, and this is what I want printed on the record.
Yeah.
I don't want to tweak it later, maybe add compression or something to it. That's a different thing. But you are one of the few people, and I remember the album you recorded with the Vital Signs, Hum Tum. Phenomenal, clean guitar sounds. Phenomenal for its time.
For its time. Yeah.
You know, again, you're still one of the few people who still uses amplifiers to record. I mean, the track that we recorded now, you came prepared with your guitar tone. So it was literally a plug and play thing. And what we did, a couple of takes, and we were done.
Pretty much.
Done. So this discipline, where did this also come from your parents?
Very good question, Gambi. Very good question. And this is something that older generation guys are going to relate to, and the newer ones should learn from this.
Learn from it.
Both of us come from a time when you had to record onto tape.
Yeah.
You had only so many passes that you could do until the head and the tape would start wearing out and the quality would drop.
Or the guy would be like, go practice.
Or the guy would be like, go practice. So, all prep would be done at home. You had very little. I had like 3 or 4 pedals at the time, and I would have to instinctively know that these are my boundaries. This is what I'm going to work within, and this is the sound I'm hearing in my head, and this should be the sound that I get on tape. And through trial and error, I got there. Now, what happened during this time is also I figured out, okay, I have to play from start to finish. If I'm going to punch in, I'm going to rely on an engineer who may not be a very good punch in and out guy.
Exactly.
You know, living in this place, you never know. So I would make an effort to learn the whole song through and play the whole song through. Yeah. This discipline, I do not see today. Today I see kids punching in the verse, the chorus, the bridge, the solo,
actually,
the outro.
It goes a lot more than that. It goes sometimes every couple of bars.
Yeah. So I mean and then you can pick up loops. That's fine. You can do that to save time. But the school that I come from, that's blasphemy.
Also, it just doesn't feel right. Like the last couple of recordings I did was in one go.
And that's
the band
the
played
best
in one go. And I realized, like, most of my recordings including Coke Studio, I felt that the stuff that we did with people like Rahat Fateh Ali or people like Abda Parveen, which was free form.
Yeah. We were following them.
Ahmad, in the words of Rahat Fateh Ali, jo Ahmad hoti hai us waqt, that's what is music to me, basically, right?
Yeah.
And I've noticed that every single time there was a certain pressure to play on the grid. I don't understand why, because all the greatest albums or the greatest musicians that I love, like whether it's Steely Dan or whether it's Van Halen or whether it's even some of the earlier pop stuff, was not recorded on a click. It was recorded live. It was recorded straight, as in, like, even if they recorded it separately in individual rooms or whatever, but it was recorded without a click. And that's the reason, like the Police, I mean, they were a huge impact on me. Rush was a massive impact on me. I mean, Neil Peart was like a drum god for me. Like, I worship this guy. And I felt that what was that element that was missing from our music? And I realized that when we started doing the Coca-Cola seasons, I realized it was that band playing together, not everyone recording separately.
Right.
So, I feel, and the reason why I'm even discussing this topic is because you're right. A lot of the new age people, and some of the old people too, prefer to record through a plugin, through a dry signal, just direct. so that
Right.
they can fix their tone or they can fix their playing in post.
Right.
And I feel that this loses its charm, it loses its energy, it loses its personality basically.
Yeah.
It's like ones and zeros basically for me.
Look, if you've got a sound in your head, you should be able to get it through an amplifier or a floorboard or whatever you're using, and you shouldn't be afraid to print. You know, one of the best producers in the world, a guy called Bob Ezrin, who did the early Alice Cooper stuff and all the Pink Floyd stuff. I was reading an article about him, and he was saying that every single band or artist that I do, I print everything. I do not do post work. The only post work being done is mastering.
Yeah.
So, you know, that kind of approach.
Recording at source basically.
Yeah. It also inspires the musicians, I think, in the room.
Yeah.
And there's a spontaneity there which you can't get recording separately. Yeah.
So coming to all the tech nerds, I guess this section is anyone who's not into technicalities or gear should just fast forward this part.
Yeah.
But yeah, your gear. I know you got like guitars worth like $1 million.
Well, not $1 million.
He's got a lot of guitars. Trust me, he's got a lot of guitars. And if someone were to tell me that Gambi, आप कभी चोरी करोगे तो hypothetically मैं बोलूँगा कभी भी नहीं, लेकिन आप इनके घर जाएंगे तो you'll know why I would want to go and rob his house. He's got a great collection of guitars, and amplifiers basically.
They're tools. I look at my instruments as tools. I've collected them over the years. I did not buy them all together at once. I'm not a multi-millionaire.
ये इसलिए कह रहे क्योंकि FBR वाले ना आ जाए.
You've seen me with my collection.
And it kept growing over time.
It's that quest for tone, and you would know this because you're also always searching for that tone.
Yeah.
That quest for tone makes you do crazy stuff like have gas, which is guitar acquisition syndrome. and I am on a perpetual hunt for tone.
Yeah.
So if I'm looking to, I'm the kind of guy who's not going to go to the plugin. I'm going to say, okay, if I want to get a tone which is like Eric Clapton's electric version of Layla, I'm going to go out and get that goddamn Strat, and I'm going to go and look at
the whole signal chain basically.
I'm going to look at his amplifier. Okay, he was using this. What was in the pedal? This thing back then, hardly anything. A big muff and a wah.
Yeah.
Okay, buy it.
Yeah.
Buy it. Experiment. Get that sound. And that's everybody can't do it, and that's fine. But when you get to a level where you are a working musician and you're making some sort of money, invest in your tools, because your tools will help you become the best that you can be. And that's my thought.
It's an extension of your music.
Yeah.
It becomes a part of your personality. Like I've had these drums for the past almost 10 years now.
Yeah.
10 years.
Great kit with the sub.
And
I love the sub.
Trust me, I've toured a lot. I've played a lot of shows all over the world. I've yet got to come across a drum set that sounds as good as this. I'm not exaggerating, you know. So again, it was for me. It was, you know, I've owned Yamahas, I've owned DWs, I've got a Sonar.
Yeah.
I've had a bunch of kits over the past several years.
Yeah.
And I stopped here. I stopped here is because I got everything that I got the whole range. Again, cymbals and all of those things, and you know, things just keep adding. लोगों को कपड़े खरीदने का शौक है, किसी को गाड़ी खरीदने का शौक है. I get gas.
Yeah, you get das.
Yeah.
Drum acquisition
basically,
syndrome.
Gear acquisition syndrome basically. So the thing is that, and this is I guess our passion also. You know, this is all we know. This is all that we do.
Of course, and it inspires you. A good instrument, a well-tuned drum set like this.
Yeah.
It inspires you to play.
Exactly. everything is at source. Everything is
yeah.
at source.
Oh,
If
yeah.
the source sounds great, there's very little chance of you having to spend time on post, basically.
Correct. Correct.
So, what is your? So I know like you're doing a lot of stuff with Ali Zafar, and then you're doing your instrumental stuff, and then you also record for other people.
Yeah.
So do you have different setups for everyone, or you have like one fixed thing?
Yeah, so the pop gig, which is Ali and a few other people, is a very clean sort
Yeah.
of setup. I do not carry amps for that, but when I'm abroad, in the US, Europe, and Canada, in my backline, I always use a JCM 900 because somehow that clean channel is just pristine. If you get a good JCM 900 head with Celestion V30 speakers, you're good to go. All you need is a reverb, a chorus, overdrive, and a compressor, and you're good to go.
Interesting.
So that's my backline for
so
the
every
pop
time you're
gig.
traveling, you have that. But
Yeah.
if you're playing within Pakistan, like
Within Pakistan, I have a floorboard where I take, because it's got impulse responses. So I actually get the IRs from my amps, which are
Nice.
JVMs, with Celestion V30s, and I
Nice.
load them into that, which is also what I was using for this.
exactly.
So I get almost the same sound that I would get playing through my amp,
And it's
which
convenient.
makes sense. It's convenient.
And what guitars do you use?
For the pop gigs, it's usually the Tele or the Strat.
That's a beautiful sounding Tele.
Yeah. And for my own stuff, it's everything, because
Depending on what song you're.
depending on mostly humbucker guitars, so Gibsons. The some of the cleaner stuff is always on the Strat or the Tele, and some of the overdrive stuff is on the Tele. You know how the
Yeah.
Tele sounds great,
Yeah.
slightly overdriven. The Strat sounds crunchy, can sound crunchy. And there's a fallacy that a lot of people have that, oh, you know, a Strat is only good for clean stuff. No, folks.
No,
it's
that's not true.
It's a all-rounder.
If that's the case, someone should check out Ingve Malmsteen.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, right. So I'm curious. I know you have a lot of guitars. So, how many and what kind? I know you have a Strat, you have a Tele, and then you have a Gibson Les Paul.
I have about 4 custom Les Pauls that I collected through the years. So
And
one
you
is
have an ES335 also, right?
I have an ES335. I have a Firebird, an Explorer, a Flying V, an SG.
Wow.
Then I've got 2 Strats. I've got one in a SSS configuration, which is 3 single coils, which is an ash Strat, ashwood. Somehow it sounds really nice. There's some mojo in there. And I've got a 60th anniversary Strat, which is the HSS configuration with the humbucker.
Okay.
And then I've got the Tele.
I really like the Tele.
Yeah, you've
it's a really
heard
nice
the
amp.
Tele. And then I've got a Martin, I've got a Guild 12-string. I have a Guild Bluesbird, which is their version of a Les Paul. I have a few other guitars. I've got some Ibanez's, the Icemans, which I've always liked.
Yeah. So I have this picture of you with the Iceman actually.
Yeah,
Like say Asad Ahmed, that black. You had a
black
one.
Iceman, yeah.
So
I've still
that-
got one.
It's got a great sound.
Yeah.
Great sound.
Yeah. Japanese made
Yeah, exactly.
instruments, really good. Made at the Fuji Gen factory in Japan. Those are high-end.
Yeah, I mean those guys. Those guys are very thorough with anything
Yes.
that they make.
Yeah.
You know, I mean the Japanese are just from a different planet.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So what about your amplifiers?
I'm predominantly a Marshall guy. I tried a whole bunch of amplifiers. So I started with the Marshall range, and I tried the Plexi, which is the holy grail.
Yeah.
The JCMs, the 800 and the 900, the DSLs, and eventually settled on the JVM because it does it all. It's EL34 based for all of you people. Those are tubes. And the power section, and 12 AX7s in the preamp section, 5 of those. So it's like a rectifier.
So basically like my
Like
Mesa.
the Lone Star.
Like-
Yeah, like the Lone Star. It's got uber gain, like
Yeah.
You can play like gent stuff on that.
Yeah.
It's got mild gain, which I like.
I'm actually trying to get Taka Tak to come and do a performance here. Man.
They're amazing.
It's brilliant stuff.
I
Brilliant,
love them.
yeah.
I love them. And so it's got 4 channels: clean, crunch, OD1, OD2. It's got everything that you would want. So that's my main rig for when I do my solo stuff. I like to run my rig in stereo. So I'm using 2 heads and 2 cabinets, mic'd with a Royer 1-to-1
Nice.
and an SM57.
Great.
So that's my rig, basic rig. I'm running delays, reverbs, choruses in the back through the effects end, and my distortion pedals and compressor and wah are in the front.
In the front.
So I use the 4-cable method on my Ampiro, great product made by Hot Tone Audio. So that's my chain coming out of that. I also have a Vox AC30.
Nice.
Uh,
That's a 2x12.
2x12, which is a classic amplifier, and I bought it because I tried my Tele the first time on the AC30, and
It's a good match.
there was just some
It's like a Strat and a Fender Twin, basically.
yeah it was great. So I picked that up. Then I picked up I've got these 2 tiny heads. One is a orange. It's called the Tiny Terror.
Okay.
And the other one is a EVH 25 watt 5150. The second Mark II, I believe, the second version.
I remember Salman Ahmed used to have the 5150 double stack.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. They sound great.
Yeah. Very high gain for my liking, but
Yeah,
I mean, I guess, some of the stuff would just suit, that stuff would suit Eddie Van Halen.
yeah.
I mean, it doesn't suit everyone.
I,
that way.
when I plug that stuff
Yeah.
in, I'm playing Running with the Devil, man.
Exactly. Great, yeah. So that's a lot of gear, man. That's a lot of gear.
A lot of gear.
This has been a great conversation and a great insight, actually, for me of your whole process of recording and the reason why I wanted to actually talk about your whole production value and stuff like that, because I really did like that first album, the way it sounded. I
Right.
felt it was ahead of its time.
Right.
The way the drums were, the way the guitars were recorded, the way the bass was recorded, and I know you had a major role to put it all together, basically, because I guess you had a sound in your mind.
You're
right?
talking about the first Caravan album?
Yes.
That was done on a 8-track ADAT and a Soundcraft mixer.
The Elise's ADAT. I
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah.
Wow. So yeah, I mean, and also I felt it's really important. Like every time I've had, whether it was Manu, whether it was Russell, or anybody in the studio, I want to bring out certain discussions or topics, mainly for musicians, basically.
Yeah.
So that they have an insight of the process that goes into putting out a song.
Yeah.
Like even like what we're doing right now. Like I have Alex. He's setting the lights. He's setting the audio. And then there's an edit process. There's a certain, you need a certain level of discipline.
Absolutely.
To do anything.
Absolutely.
Like there has to be a sense of reasoning. There has to be a thought process into what you're going to talk about, what you're going to discuss, how you're going to do it, stuff like that. I think if I was someone who's starting out, and even now, like after hearing the way you discipline yourself of the kind of setups that you have, like if you're playing with Ali, you have a different setup. If you're doing the Coke Studio stuff, I know you had a different setup there.
Yeah.
You know, so different acoustic guitars, different amplification, all of that stuff adds a lot of value.
Right.
And there's no doubt of the fact that is the reason why most people get you to track guitars in the industry than most people, is because of that discipline and because of that tone factor, basically.
Look, if you know this as well as I do, we live and die by our work.
Yeah.
And if you do a good job, and if you're on time, and you're good with people, you can keep doing this forever. And we're blessed. Honestly,
I agree.
We're blessed, and I'm humbled by all that we've achieved in this industry, and there's so much more to be done as well.
And I feel that, over the past 25, 30 years, people have come and gone, bands have come and gone, and we're still continuing to play.
Absolutely.
We're still continuing to play, and again, like I said, it's a blessing.
Yeah.
That कि इस उम्र में भी आके बज रहा है. हमारी नहीं बज रही है. So yeah, man, thank you so much, and it was great having you over.
Awesome.
And
great to be here.
Let's hope we can record some more and
absolutely
make some more videos like this, man. This is going to be a lot of fun, and hopefully we won't meet 8 years later.
No.
Because the last we met was, at least the last we hung out was the 4th season, because I quit after the 5th.
That's right.
I mean, I didn't do the 5th season basically. Yeah. So wow, it's been a while, and I kind of missed that whole
camaraderie
Jafar and
the whole Momo, Jafar,
exactly,
Manu, and
But once again, thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for making music with me
in
the studio. And thanks to Russell.
Thanks to Russell.
Yeah.
Russ, peace out, brother.
Yeah. And take care, guys, and until next time.